Hi everyone, welcome back to Cooking in Pink Boots, and today I'm going to take you and your special someone all the way to Italy. Flying first class, of course, with my Italian herb and lemon lamb. Not only is the aromatic scent of this dish mouth-watering, but just look at it, so visually succulent and not to mention sexy, and it's absolutely delicious. So hop on board this first class flight on a coach fare price all the way to Italy with me, Charlene. And for this recipe, I am using 2 lamb chops, weighing in at about 3/4 of a pound. Now you can use the loin chops, the rib chops, or the budget-friendly chop, like I got here. And this is the shoulder chops, which is actually my favorite. You'll also be needing extra virgin olive oil, chopped garlic, salt, black pepper, dried thyme, Italian seasoning, parsley flakes, red pepper flakes, the zest and juice of a lemon, and unsalted butter. And for my sides, I am using asparagus and mushrooms, but you can use whatever vegetable you prefer. Now, if you have a cast iron pan, you're going to want to use it for this dish, not only to bring out that beautiful charred crust, but we'll also be placing it in the oven at 350 degrees. So if you don't have one, that's fine. Just use a pan that'll withstand 350 in your oven, or have a baking pan set aside, all greased up and ready to go for after the searing process. Now for the marinade. In a large bowl, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 3 teaspoons or 2 medium cloves of chopped garlic, a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon black pepper, and here I have 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning and a half teaspoon of thyme. And right over the marinade, I am zesting about a half teaspoon of lemon zest, being real careful to avoid the pith, which is the white layer right below the yellow that's extremely bitter in taste and definitely not what we're looking for in Italy. We want earthy, bright flavors on this trip. Now, with a tiny bit of force applied in rolling this lemon, I'm breaking down some of those membranes and loosening up those juices. Then half of that lemon's juices, making about 3 tablespoons, I'm squeezing right into our bowl, being sure to avoid the seeds. Now giving that a good quick mix, and adding in our lamb chops, getting it well coated. It'll probably look as if it has too much garlic, but trust me, most of that should cook right off, leaving it full of flavor. And notice how I trimmed off some of that fat. Although it is non-essential to do so, it does give it a prettier presentation to trim off some of it. Okay, now that I'm allowing my lamb to marinate in room temperature for about 10 to 15 minutes, now it's time to start on my asparagus and mushrooms. After rinsing my asparagus in cold water, I'm going to pat it dry with a paper towel, then spread it out on a cutting board to find the thickest of the bundle. Snap off its end, then use it to measure the rest and cut all ends off. Simple, right? Alright, now with a damp cloth or paper towel, I'm going to clean whatever dirt was left behind, trying not to submerge my mushrooms into water, given there's so much water in them already that it will cause them to get soggy as it cooks. And speaking of cook, let's get to it. Starting with preheating the oven to 350 degrees, then drizzling about 1 tablespoon of olive oil onto a baking pan and laying out both asparagus and mushrooms, drizzling another tablespoon of olive oil on top. Then sprinkling salt and pepper to taste, and when oven is ready to go, just bake to the tenderness you prefer, setting a timer every 5 minutes to turn and keep from over baking. Meanwhile, to a hot pan and heat set to high, I'm melting down 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, then carefully dropping in those hefty cuts of lamb. Now we want to cook them on each side for 2 minutes or till we get that nice charred crust. Then carefully roll the lamb on its fat as seen on my video to char that up as well. Now carefully place the entire cast iron pan in the oven. If not using a cast iron, transfer onto a baking pan greased with a tablespoon of unsalted butter and bake for at least 10 minutes until the lamb's temperature reaches 135 degrees. Once that's done, allow the lamb to rest a few minutes, then serve over a bed of mashed potatoes or scalloped potatoes like I got here, and dress it up all fancy with those mouth-watering mushrooms and asparagus and garnish with some lemon slices, then sprinkle on some of that parsley flakes, and it's welcome to Italy. Thank you all so much for joining me here on Cooking in Pink Boots. I hope you enjoyed our trip to Italy, and hopefully you have already liked and subscribed so you don't miss out on the rest of the journey from right here in my kitchen, where every day I'm cooking in pink boots with her. Bye.